In the heart of a vast and ancient land lies a medieval realm that has long been divided into various small nations. With danger and uncertainty lurking around every bend, the stage is set for a sweeping tale of conquest, betrayal, and epic battles that will determine the fate of the realm and its people for generations to come. This is the Story of Neler. This is Neler, an 18-year-old boy. Sadly, Neller's parents died when he was very young, leaving him with no one to care for him. Neler is always content and loves eating meat.
Meat! Talk to me about meat! Meat! Red, juicy meat.
After his parents died, he was taken in by a small village named Cho. The village was poor and there were few opportunities for work. Despite this, Neler was determined to make a life for himself. As he grew older, Neler took odd jobs around the village, doing whatever he could to earn a living. He worked as a builder and a carpenter, and in his free time he would go around the village gathering all sorts of useful materials like wood or stone. Neler was a quick learner and he soon became skilled in many trades. He was known throughout the village for his hard work and determination, and he was respected by all who knew him. At the age of 22, Neler decided to set out on his own. He wanted to explore the world beyond Cho and make a name for himself. With the king's blessing, Neler started another village south of Cho, giving the kingdom of Cho new opportunities and expanding into the realm. As weeks went by, word got out about the new village of Neler, inviting all sorts of new villagers from around the realm to join Neler's new village. Years went by and Neler's village began to grow in number, giving birth to all sorts of new infrastructure, culture, and technology. Soon, a neighboring kingdom named the Realm of Q began growing closer and closer to the kingdom of Cho, giving them a harder time to expand further south. As the realm began to grow, the danger and uncertainty grew faster into all kingdoms. After the kingdom of Realm of the Q began growing closer to the borders of Cho, the king of Cho decided to apply a new law into his kingdom, having all adult citizens joining the army. And that included the 42-year-old Neler. Weeks after Neler joined the army, the king ordered them to defend their borders. Until only weeks later, the neighboring kingdom, Realm of the Q, declared war upon Cho, being the first of many to come. Right after the declaration of war, a big offense, led by Neler, pushed through the southeast of Cho, invading Agdran, and eventually capturing it successfully. As Neler led his men back to safety, another big war party coming in from the north came rallying down south to capture the village of Teshawa. Eventually, both villages were successfully captured until a meteor rained down on another neighboring kingdom, destroying multiple houses and killing dozens of people. This event led Neler to have flashbacks of his parents and to become paranoid for the rest of his life. Days after the meteor, a big offense to capture the capital of the Realm of the Q was planned by the king of Cho. But because they were badly wounded from the previous battle in Teshawa, they lost all their lives. Until Neler and his army came in, performing a surprise attack from the north. Despite being greatly outnumbered, Neler and his army kept on fighting bravely side by side. Neler was almost killed in that fight, but eventually lived to see another day. After they won the battle, Neler at the age of 49 captured the capital of Realm of the Q, ending the war into a victory for the Kingdom of Cho, giving Neler a Medal of Honor for his bravery in leading his men to battle, naming him Hero of Cho. The Kingdom of Cho began to grow rapidly, becoming one of the biggest kingdoms in the realm. After the war ended, Neler decided it was time to return to Cho and retire from the army, as he felt he achieved most of the things he wanted in life. And at the age of 51, Neler became a wise man, but because of his age and hard battles he fought, he was left crippled for the rest of his life. Neler decided it was time to retire on a small farm at the beach. Because of his great achievements in life, he started a new job, teaching all kinds of useful things like fishing, strategy, languages, and culture. Neler was a happy man until the King of Cho eventually got greedy, sitting on his throne, and decided to plan a war against the Holy Dummy, the neighboring kingdom to the south of Cho. Neler, despite being crippled, joined his companions in the army, rallying down south of the borders of Cho, close to the kingdom of the Holy Dummy. Only days later, Neler and his army pushed their way into the kingdom of the Holy Dummy, until they met up with the enemy, getting into a huge fight, eventually winning it. After their victory, Neler planned a big offense into the village of Chaidiovo, setting buildings aflame and killing dozens of people, eventually capturing the village successfully. Because Neler was crippled, he and his army had been called back to Cho, but Neler was too slow to keep up with his companions. Until then, out of nowhere, a big ambush was planned on Neler and his army, eventually leading to his death, slaughtering all of his companions in cold blood. As years went by, the Kingdom of Cho, without the bravery and strategic knowledge that Neler had, couldn't hold them off, eventually leading to the defeat of the century. The Kingdom of Cho was destroyed. And with it, Neller's legacy soon became history of the realm, teaching them that refusing to fight for what someone thinks is right isn't an act of cowardice, it's a realization that wars are pointless. And that is the story of Neler, the hero of Cho.